So Neale, I'm very, very happy and delighted and honored to have you on my podcast. Really nice to see you and good to see you. I'm a big fan of your work and your books, and I appreciate really, really highly your time. Thank you so much.
You're very nice to say those things. It's lovely to be here with you. How may I serve the moment?
Mm-hmm.
My religion, if I'm a Muslim, that's the right one. If I'm a Hindu, that's the right one. If I'm a Buddhist, that's the right one. If I'm a Jewish person, that's the right one. If I'm a Christian, that's the right one. You're missing the point.
Okay.
Everyone thinks that their religion is the one true religion.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep asking the question wherever I go around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible? Just possible that there's something we don't fully understand here about God and about life and about ourselves, the understanding of which would change everything?
Mm.
But when I ask that question, people in my audience say, oh, Neale. It's all there in the book. Just read the good book. It's everything we need to know about God. There's nothing we don't understand. It's explained perfectly in the good book. Just read the Upanishads. I mean the Bhagavad Gita. I mean the Book of Mormon. I mean the Quran. I mean the Talmud. I mean whatever.
Yeah.
But make sure you're reading the right book, because if you read the wrong book, you're going to hell.
Mm.
That's our loving, blessed God who sends you to hell if you're not belonging to the right religion, and there's only one.
Got it. So it's always the religion that we have is the right one.
Of course, our politics the same way. Ask any Republican or any Democrat or any conservative or any liberal. There's only one political philosophy that's right. It's their philosophy.
It's their own wisdom, yeah, their own meaning.
So all of us believe that we are the ones that have the answers. Now, of course, it's true about me.
True, yeah.
Yeah, I am the only one who has the answers.
Yeah.
Everyone else is wrong.
Yes. Nice. What is your vision, Neale? Very good follow-up question. What is the vision of a world in harmony with God? What is your vision of a world in harmony with God? What is the path? What is also the path to get there? But what is your vision in a world?
Well, there's no one path to get there, or there wouldn't be 4,000 religions.
Yeah,
You keep on asking the same question, and I keep on giving you the same answer.
8 billion paths.
There is no one path.
Yeah.
So if there was one path, we would all finally, after all these thousands of years, we would have discovered it. So obviously there's no one path. You can ask me that question 30 more times. I'm going to give you the same answer every time.
Yeah.
There's no one way. But if we have the desire to express and to experience our own highest idea of divinity, I mean, do we think that God is white or is God black? Is God Mexican or is God Hungarian? Is God Russian? Is God a Democrat or is God a Republican? Is God conservative or is God liberal? Is God male or is God female? Well, now I already know the answer to that one. We all know that God's not a female. Obviously, God's a male with white hair and a white beard, and he wears glasses and often wears a white shirt and looks a great deal like someone we all know. So there's no question whether God's a male or female. That's obvious, because every religion on the face of the earth has told us that God is, well, not every religion. There are a couple of religions that believe that God is female, and there are a few religions that believe that God has no gender, no sex at all. There's not one or the other, but they're, of course, blasphemers. We know that they are heretics. They're apostates. The true believers are clear. that God is, at least we understand that God is male.
Mhm.
So my vision for the world is a world in which we have given up all our ancient, primitive ideas about who and what God is. A world in which we all agree that God is pure love. Now, when I mention this in front of an audience, somebody will get up in the back of the room and say, "Oh, Neale, I've listened to you now for 25 minutes, and that's your big, exciting revelation. God is love." All the religions agree that God is love. Is that the big message? And I have to tell them, wait a minute. I didn't say God is love. I said God is pure love. And the guy in the audience says, okay, all right, what's the difference? The difference is that pure love needs nothing, asks for nothing, expects nothing, and certainly commands nothing in return. The difference is that God of pure love. Now, I realize this is spiritually revolutionary. This is theological revolution. But the difference is that God of pure love needs nothing back from us in order to give love to us. And human beings are challenged to love each other in the same way that God loves us. But right now, we are loving each other in the same way that we imagine that God loves us, because we've been taught that God's love is conditional. I love you if you're the right religion, yeah. But if you're the wrong religion, or if you do the wrong thing, or if you eat meat on Friday, or if you don't wear the right clothes, or if you don't behave in a certain way, whatever your religion is telling you. There are some religions that say if you're a female, you must cover yourself from head to toe. And you can only have a little slit, only just enough to see out of. And you may not leave your home, you may not leave your house unless you are accompanied by a male relative. And of course, you can't vote. If voting is not even acceptable. And furthermore, you can't go to school. We don't want you to go to school. No education. Why? Because you don't have a penis. So this is the teaching. Really? I mean, really?
Sad.
You want to hear something even more sad? The Catholic Church teaches that if you don't go to Mass on Sunday, every Sunday of your life, if you miss one Sunday without a good excuse, got to have a good excuse. Maybe you're taking care of a sick relative, or maybe you have to work. But if you don't have a good excuse, if you just went to go play golf and then you die on Monday, tragic accident, get hit by a bus and maybe you die. Poor fellow. But the news is you're going to hell. Now, I'm not kidding. This is the teaching of the Roman Catholic Church. I thought it was an ancient teaching from years ago. It's still being taught today. It's a mortal sin, meaning you're going to hell if you die with that sin on your soul, if you hadn't had a chance to go to confession. And what was your big sin? We say to God, before you send me to hell, can you just tell me what was my sin? You missed Mass once in 37 years. You went and played golf, so you're going to hell. Oh. And the church believes this. So it's not just one religion or another religion. Every religion has its crazy ideas that we are supposed to accept and to embrace. This is the God who loves us so much that he judges, condemns, and punishes us if we don't do exactly what she tells us to do. And so our behaviors with each other reflect the same kind of conditional love. I love you if. We say to each other, I love you. I do love you. But you got to obey the rules.
Mm.
You got to give me what I need and what I want.
Mm.
Otherwise, see, but pure love says, I love you and I need, demand, require, request nothing in return.
Mm.
Can we dare to believe in a God who is so wonderful?
Mm.
So the challenge in front of the world today is for us to begin behaving as if we really are one being. Different expressions, yes, like the fingers of your hand. I asked God, I don't understand. And God said, look at the fingers of your hand. They're individual. They are perform different functions.
One
They
DNA.
look different. They have different appearances, but they are not disconnected.
Mm.
They are connected to your hand. Your hand is connected to your arm is connected to your body. We are all one in exactly the same way with each other. But we think that we're not. So you know what? I understand that 653 children are dying every hour of starvation. Every hour of starvation.
Wow.
While we throw away enough food in the restaurants of Los Angeles, Paris, and Tokyo to feed an entire third world village for a week. What kind of species does that?
Mm.
Our species. And we call ourselves evolved. Neale, relax. We are evolved.
Mm. Yeah, totally. So in partnerships, Neale, you said like, I only love if, right? Conditional. How does that translate into partnerships that we have, or even like soulmates? You know the term of soulmates?
Of course I do.
Perfect. What do you think about this theory of soulmates?
Well, I think that there are such things as soulmates, soul partners, soul companions, and I think that we can meet our soulmate. I met my soulmate 14 years ago. So, but what I said to my soulmate is, you do what I say, or I will never, never, never love you again. Here are my rules. Follow the rules. Or maybe I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I actually said to my soulmate, you know what? I don't love you from what I can get from you. I love you because I can give you all the love that I have to give. I have finally found a person to whom I can give endlessly and unconditionally. And I don't need anything back from you. If I'm loving you in order to get something back, then I'm not loving you. I'm loving me through you. I'm simply using you as a way to love me. But if I love you without needing anything in return, now I have learned what love really is.
So,
I mean, our dogs love us that way.
true. Dogs love it. Yeah, you can see it every day on animals. Yeah. So, would you say that if someone has not a connection to God, Neale, are they capable actually to find a real soulmate? Or
Oh, sure. I don't think it's necessary to have a connection with God in order to find or encounter your soulmate. In fact, it's sometimes the other way around. Sometimes people find their soulmate and then they discover God.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because inside the relationship is so sacred and so beautiful and so unconditional that they finally decide, you know what? this must be what it's like to be loved by God. Maybe there is a God after all. So no, I don't think it's necessary to have found God, to use your words, in order for us to come across our soulmate in this life. No.
Okay. So when we have our soulmate, we can then experience actually this true love, pure love, and then we are maybe inspired by that to get our own path, to our individual path, to find or seek this true love within us, pure love within us. Is that correct? Is that right?
Yes, if we haven't already found it, but generally, if we find our soulmate, it's because we have already discovered the true love within us. You know what? All we want, Chris, in this life, all we want is for somebody to love us the way we love us. That's all I want is, can you love me the way I love me? Can you accept me just the way I am, with my imperfections, with my faults, with my little foibles, with my good parts, good points as well, with my gifts and with all that I am? Can you love me just the way I'm sitting here? And that's all we really want, is to be loved by someone else the way we love ourselves. So that's the opportunity that relationship gives us.
True. I have another question for you, Neale, and it's really one big one for me, because right now there's a huge debate about vaccination in our society in Germany. And there are actually two parties. One party vaccinated and the other one is not vaccinated. And a lot of people actually feel pressured by being not vaccinated. What is your take on this maybe whole debate of being vaccinated, not vaccinated, and this pressure thing, and how can we find the solution for everyone, for a peaceful society? Because it's now a huge topic.
And it's not the first huge topic that human beings have disagreed on. We've had these kinds of huge topics before. There was a little incident that we called World War II, which was created by disagreements, some of which, not all of which, but some of which actually started in Germany. By a person who said that Germans were the master race.
True.
I know it's true. We had another incident called World War I. We had another incident called the atomic bomb. We have found, I've already said, 92% of recorded history, we've had some kind of armed conflict. And we're even beginning to have an armed conflict in some cases over this whole vaccination thing. So this is not the first time we've had pressure or disagreement about a different point of view. The question is not, why is that happening? The question is, what can be done that could help us agree to disagree agreeably? Can we disagree agreeably? I mean, in a nice way. Can we have two different points of view? Must we use our different points of view as a means of being angry with each other and fighting with each other and pressuring each other in one way or another? And what is the solution? The solution is to, it seems to me, love each other unconditionally, to say to people on both sides of the question, I understand how you could feel that way. I understand how you could feel that way. And let that be your final comment on the subject. Some governments have made it a requirement for people to be vaccinated. And many governments have not.
Mm-hmm.
But there are those who believe that the only way you will stop a global pandemic is with certain behaviors, not just vaccination, but wearing a mask, social distancing,
Mm-hmm.
certain things that health officials are telling us could be helpful to stop the spread of the virus. There are some people who say there is no virus. It's a hoax. It's a conspiracy to control the people. There are some people who say, no, there is a virus, but the vaccination is unsafe. It's not safe for us. And there are some people who say, maybe the vaccination is safe, but I have a right to say no. You should not violate my right to say no. There are many, many points of view on this topic. And there's not one point of view that's, oh, wait a minute, let me see. Maybe there is. Let me see. What is the one point of view that is absolutely right on this subject? Okay, I got it. Thanks. I'll tell them. Oh, okay, thanks. Bye-bye. She said what the right point of view is, but she said, I can't have you tell anybody else. You must keep it a secret. So I'm not able to tell you what the right point of view is. You'll just have to decide for yourself.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you what's not going to work. What's not going to work is making each other so wrong that we feel that we have to stop loving each other in order to be right. You know, on this planet, we have consistently had one major choice all through human history: to be right or to be loving. Hopefully, we could do both at the same time, but it's been very difficult for the human species because we're very primitive species.
True. Okay.
So I'm not here to tell you, which point of view is the right one or how we can resolve this conflict. The human race is going to have to look at itself.
Yes.
And ask itself, can we get through this particular period of time as a single unit called humanity without destroying ourselves? Surely there must be a way.
Yeah. Okay, I have two more questions for you, Neale. Which three most important key messages would you like to give to children in school on their way through life? What three key messages would you give children in school if you have, imagine you would have the ability to speak in front of 7 or 3 billion children out there on the world? What key messages would you love to give them? Or two key messages or one key message?
The most important aspect of life is love. Never stop loving. If you continue to love, your decisions, your choices, your behaviors will change dramatically. So never stop loving. Even if you have to lose your own life, never stop loving. Because the second message is, life is eternal. Life is eternal. You are not simply a body and a mind. You are more than this. You are a spiritual entity that some of us call a soul. You are a soul. And this is not who you are. This is something you have. These are tools that you have. But who you are, the spiritual being that you are, lives forever. It always was, it is now, and it always will be.
Mm.
And if you allow yourself to know that in your life, you will even give up this particular individual life if it meant saving or helping someone else. But if you think, no, this is who I am, this is all I am, I'm just this is all I am, then you will make entirely different kinds of decisions. So the second thing I would tell children is, it's really helpful to know who you really are. And the third thing I would say to children is, guess what, kids? Your life is not about you. Your life is about everyone whose life you touch and the way in which you touch it. And when you understand that, however long you live, your life will be a glorious testament to who you really are. Because you are a part of God. You are a singular demonstration, an individuation of divinity. And I would give them the metaphor of a wave on the ocean. I would say, imagine the ocean, and then there's a wave on the ocean. Is the wave separate from the ocean? No. Is the wave something other than the ocean? No. It's simply the ocean expressing as an individual arising, a glorious, powerful, beautiful individual arising. And when the arising is complete, the wave recedes back into the ocean. That's your relationship with God. You are a wave on the ocean of divinity. So go out there, children, and make waves.
Oh, wonderful. That's really wonderful. And
then I might also give them some other ideas.
Okay, perfect.
I would say to them, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And do good to those who would do bad to you. And when a man slaps you on the right cheek, turn and offer him your left. And when a man asks you for your coat, give him your shirt as well. And when a man asks you to walk 1 mile with him, go with him 2. And raise not your fist to heaven, and curse the darkness not, but be a light unto the darkness, that you might know who you really are, and that all those whose lives you touch might know who they really are as well.
Wonderful.
I could be wrong about all of that, but I don't think so.
Wonderful. Very last question, Neale. What advice would you give someone? I know that you already said it in the beginning of our conversation, that you were homeless. What advice would you give someone who is homeless nowadays? What advice would you give someone who's homeless?
Make everywhere you are your home. This is your home.
Mm-hmm.
Your home is not a physical environment. It's maybe more comfortable, but if you make this your home, you're going to be okay. And if you decide to use however much life you have left to touch other people in a way that brings them to their home, you will always be at home wherever you are. So do not worry about exterior conditions. There was a man a couple of weeks ago, or maybe more than 2 weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, but who said once, don't go around asking, what are we to eat? What are we to drink? Wherewithal will we clothe ourselves? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And all these things will be added unto you. He could, of course, have been wrong about all of that. But I don't think so.
And okay, and one very, very, very last question here. For someone who's now in a very, very, very dark place, maybe after a breakup, or maybe he thinks or she thinks.
Gratitude. The answer is gratitude.
Gratitude.
Whatever dark place you're in, I've been in dark places in my life. I've lost relationships. I lost my first marriage, ended. My second marriage ended. My third marriage ended. My fourth marriage ended. My fifth marriage ended. My sixth marriage ended. I'm now into the 14th year of my seventh marriage.
Oh.
My first career in broadcasting ended. My second career in the newspaper business ended. My third career as a photographer ended. My fourth career as a musician ended. Everything, it all ended. Talk to me about being in a dark place. Talk to me about it. I've been in dark places many times. A few years ago, a doctor said to me, you know what, guy? You need open heart surgery. What? No, you need open heart surgery. Or you have a very short time left here because your heart is in really serious trouble. I said, well, okay, open heart surgery it is. And I thought maybe I needed a triple bypass. I didn't need a triple bypass. I didn't even need a quadruple bypass. I needed a quintuple bypass. They were taking arteries from everywhere in my body and putting them into my heart. Talk about being in a dark place. Tell me all about it. Tell me all about being in a dark place.
Mm.
I've been there a couple of times in my life.
So gratitude was the one thing that helped you the most.
Not giving a damn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't care how dark the place is. I'm here until I'm not here anymore. And once I had my conversation with God, I got very clear. I see what's going on here. I'm a spiritual entity. This is not who I am. I'm a spiritual entity. And I will live forever. And none of these things can touch me. So how will I use whatever time I have left? If it's 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or another couple of decades, how will I use the time I have left? Oh, I think I will use the time I have left in a way that demonstrates who I really am, in a way that announces with gratitude the gifts that I have been given, including the gift of the dark night of the soul. Because without the dark night of the soul, I couldn't have known the other side of that. Without short, there's no tall. Without fast, there's no slow. Without here, there's no there. Without this, there's not that. And so I've come to see that life is a contextual field. I mean, life in the physical body is a contextual field that allows me to know who I really am in relationship to that which I am not. It's really quite simple. So accepting with gratitude exactly what is. It's what I call the isness of life. What you resist persists. And what you embrace, you can then release. Because you can't release something unless you embrace it. I can't let go of this until I hold it. But once I hold it, then I can let go of it. It's really quite simple. Life is really quite simple. We're making it much more complicated than it needs to be. But if you live by the wonderful platinum rule, not the golden rule, but the platinum rule, which is even better than the golden rule.
Okay.
The golden rule says, do unto others what you would have done unto you. But the platinum rule says, platinum, of course, is more valuable than gold. What the platinum rule says is, do unto others as they would have it done unto them.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. What an interesting way to live. Dare ya, double dare ya.
Wonderful last words, Neale. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, for your words. I will put all of your books and your new books in the show notes of this podcast. How can people reach you now? If they want to get more to know about you or reading your books, what's the best way to get your books? Is it on your website?
He asked me one more question.
True.
I got it. He doesn't know how to keep his word. I got it. I understand. It's okay. I'm going to forgive him. All right. Bye for now.
Lord have mercy.
He can't believe it. He can't believe it. Anyone who wants to reach me, and anyone who can deal with my sense of humor is welcome to reach me at cwgconnect.com. CWG, of course, stands for Conversations with God. So if you want to stay connected with the energy, just go to cwgconnect.com. And you'll find me there.
I will put this also in the show notes. And
Great.
So thank you so much, Neale. And yes, then this is it, the interview. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else? What you need or want to know, or for the?
This is perfect. I've had a lot of fun with you. Of course, I'm just enjoying being with you, having some fun, playing around, joking around. But it's nice because you've got a good sense of humor and you're a good sport. And I appreciate sharing this time with you. And thank you for the opportunity to share these ideas with your audience. I do really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.